Am I the asshole for threatening my wife with divorce after she quit her job to be a trad wife? Am I the asshole for telling my husband that I would have never agreed to have his child if I knew he would go back on our agreement? The comment section truly shows how sexist the community is, with your "you're the asshole" comments calling me broke and asking me to man up, others saying mom deserves to be with their baby and I'm the asshole for taking that away from them. My marriage was based on equality. I never wanted to be the sole breadwinner, and to everyone telling me mom staying home is the best and the thing to do if you can afford it, I was clearly saying we cannot.
Guys, welcome back to At Liminal Period. It's your girl Chun-Li Shawty. In previous conversations, we've talked a little bit about women and their career and the importance of it within a relationship. I feel like that's typically when I get the most pushback or criticism within the comment section, and it's completely okay because, again, I think that we're just having the conversation but perhaps coming at it from a different perspective. Today, I actually have a couple of clips that I gathered for you guys that talk a little bit more about the importance of having a double income or just some of the challenges when you're in a relationship or in a marriage and you guys don't necessarily agree on the traditional gender roles. Because again, dating is complicated in 2024, and we can try and simplify it with some of the talking points within the manosphere that isn't always reflective of reality. So anyways, without further ado, let's check out some of these Am I the A-hole stories.
Am I the asshole for threatening my wife with divorce after she quit her job to be a trad wife? I don't even know where to begin with this. Me, 34 male, and my wife, 33 female, have 2 kids together, 11 male and 9 female. Me and my wife have been together for 12 years and married for 8. Around a year ago, I noticed my wife increasingly sending me these trad wife or traditional housewife TikToks. I have nothing against that type of relationship, but I don't think it makes sense for our current family situation. I do earn quite a bit more than my wife and enough to sustain our family on my own, but I don't see the need to do so. I work 80% and my wife 50%. And besides Wednesdays, where both of us are working, either one of us is always home for the kids. I could work 100% and let my wife be a stay-at-home mom, but again, both of my kids are attending school, and in my mind, there's no need for my wife to be at home 24/7. She got increasingly pushy about it over the past 2 months, and again, I just kept on telling her that there wasn't any need for that, and if we did decide to go down that route, what would she do during the hours my kids attended school? I know damn well our house doesn't need to be cleaned for 6 hours a day. She would constantly try to butter me up with, you would have dinner ready every day when coming home from work, and something about unlimited blowjobs or some BS like that. Again, in the nicest way possible, I would remind her that our kids weren't toddlers and our current work-life schedule allowed us to function perfectly fine. We got into a pretty heated argument 2 weeks ago about it, and my wife completely stopped having sex with me to show me what I was missing out on. She basically has been treating me like a roommate since. I just thought she would get over it and that it was just a phase, but God, was I wrong. I came home from work yesterday and I saw a bunch of presents on the dining room table. At first I thought they were all for me since my birthday was in a week, but then I saw the labels on them were addressed to my wife. I read one of the letters attached to one of the presents. The last sentence on it was literally, "It was so a pleasure working alongside you, and I wish all the best moving forward." Oof. I thought this was a sick prank. A few minutes later, my wife just casually strolled into the living room, acting like nothing was wrong. I guess she saw my mad expression and had the audacity to tell me that, "You'll get over it." I just lost it. I left without saying another word, and I went to my parents' house. I feel absolutely disrespected. Why the f*** would my wife think it was okay to just quit her job without telling me and just expect me to be fine with it? My wife has been bombarding me with texts and calls, demanding to know where I am and that the kids miss me. I just told her to go find a lawyer and that I was done with her and then proceeded to block her. My son sent me a voicemail crying, asking why I was divorcing mom and if I was leaving the family, and I guess that kind of broke my heart. I haven't responded, and honestly, I don't know what to say to him. My mother-in-law has been demanding that I return home and apologize to my wife. My parents also seem to be siding with wife since they are traditional Muslims. My mom also used to be a stay-at-home mom. I feel like I'm wrong for immediately jumping to divorce without hearing her out. And besides this whole job drama, I love my wife too much for this to be the end of our perfect marriage. But on the other hand, I feel like I've just completely lost trust in her. Should I just swallow my pride and let my wife stay at home from now on, or should I follow through on divorcing her? How should I navigate this situation? Am I the asshole here?
So, what are your guys' thoughts? Because, in my perspective, yeah, he is the asshole because I don't think that you should ever run to divorce. You know what I mean? Unless like you're in danger, like you're actually in physical harm, or the children are at risk. I'm trying to think of valid reasons. And again, like, please do forgive me because I'm not married. And so I don't have, like I hadn't gone through the thought process of what would be a valid reason for a divorce if you already have 2 young children and you love your wife. Like, that's what he said, right? He said, I absolutely love my wife. I adore my wife. And outside of her wanting to be a trad wife, everything else, I adore her. So yes, I do think he's the asshole for rushing to marriage, for threatening divorce. I'd be interested in knowing, how do they divvy up the parenting responsibilities as well as the household responsibilities? Because if you're expecting the wife to go to work for a full-time, 40 hours a week just as he does, and depending on if it's labor intensive or something, and she has to come home, still clean up, maintain the household, take care of the kids, and again, he is making more than enough money. Like, they can afford it in this situation. So I don't know, perhaps having some type of part-time setup. I mean, I don't know, like, I feel like I'm kind of just stumped on this because, yeah, he said he adored everything else about her and he makes a lot more money. However, once again, I think that is dependent on the lifestyle that they have. How involved are the kids in school? A lot of people nowadays are considering homeschooling, private schooling, putting their kids into Catholic schools just because of how degenerate the public school system has become. So I don't know. I think as a couple, they should have the conversation and not necessarily turn to Reddit. But at the same time, him turning to Reddit is allowing us to have the conversation here. So, next story.
Am I the asshole for telling my husband that I would have never agreed to have his child if I knew he would go back on our agreement? I, 36 female, am a neurologist and I absolutely love my patients and my job. I believe there's no greater honor in life than being able to help others. The road to my medical degree was not easy and it was paved with many rejections. I was a troubled teen in high school and I didn't get accepted into any colleges my senior year. I had to work my way up, starting with remedial classes at my local community college, and when I finally got into medical school at 26, I was absolutely thrilled. I met my husband, 37 male, in my 3rd year of medical school. We've been married for 4 years now. My husband works in marketing, and I make 3 times his salary. From the beginning of our relationship, I was very upfront that I was unsure about having biological children. My dream was always to adopt from foster care, and my husband seemingly understood this. However, after his friend had a baby boy last year, he began to really press me on having children. I was initially very against this idea because I was just beginning my career. I wanted to wait a few more years before revisiting the topic of children. In August of last year, I found out I was unexpectedly pregnant due to a condom breaking during sex. I was initially considering an abortion, but after many heartfelt conversations with my husband, we decided to keep the baby, and he would quit his job and stay home until our daughter was old enough to start preschool. There were several factors that went into our decision to have him stay home with our daughter. 1, I made significantly more money than him, so financially it just made more sense. 2, I'm in the first few years of my career as an attending physician. After 4 years of med school and a 4-year residency, I'm just starting to practice on my own, whereas my husband has been in his career for 15 years. I was very clear I had absolutely zero desire to stay home and be a housewife. However, after his friend had a baby boy last year, he began to really press me on having children. I respect stay-at-home moms, but my work is my life, and I would go crazy at home all day. That just isn't a lifestyle I want whatsoever. 4, finally, I'm not comfortable putting my child in daycare until she is old enough to express herself verbally. I was a victim of SA when I was young, and I just do not trust people enough to leave my daughter in the hands of strangers when she would be unable to report abuse/neglect. Our daughter is 9 weeks old today, and I'm preparing to return to my practice in a few weeks. This weekend, I left my husband alone with our daughter while I attended a medical conference out of state. The conference was amazing, but when I returned home, my husband began acting weird. Today, when our daughter was napping, I pressed him to tell me what was wrong. He absolutely broke down and said that he doesn't think he can do this. He expressed how trapped, alone, and overwhelmed he felt all weekend. He now wants me to extend my maternity leave and is talking about trying to get his job back. This made me freak out, and I asked, well, what will we do with our daughter now? And he responded by suggesting that I leave my practice and work from home. I said absolutely not, and he suggested daycare. At this point, I just lost my shit and I screamed, if I knew you were going to go back on your promise to take care of our daughter, I would have never had your child. I know I completely overreacted, and I would never trade our daughter for anything. I love her so much, but I'm so upset with my husband, and I'm not sure how to move forward at this point. Am I the asshole?
Yeah, I feel like that's another tough situation that a lot of people nowadays are probably going through. You know, for the longest, women and young girls were encouraged to go pursue our career, to pursue our purpose. And that was typically found through education. And, you know, like when you've instilled that into someone for so long, you cannot fault them. Well, you can, but you can't fault them entirely when they see pride in that. When now they're convinced to feel fulfilled with that career. And there are a lot of women that say that they are fulfilled and have lived great lives. You know, I actually came across a clip earlier today, and it was Tracee Ellis Ross. She's 52 years old. She's an accomplished actress, but at the same time, she's not a mom, you know, and I'm not 62. I don't know. Like, you know, are they just fronting, or do they truly feel more whole with their careers? But nonetheless, this woman had an amazing accomplishment. She's a neurologist, and, you know, a woman that is already dedicated into the STEM field. You can already, I guess, see that she's probably, I don't even want to say that women in STEM can't be trad, because there are. It's just different strokes for different folks. You know what I mean? And anyways, this lady said she didn't want to have a kid. She never thought about having kids. She didn't want to have any bio kids, but it was the husband that convinced her and wanted this. And I actually have a few friends that are in that same situation. They and their husband are accomplished in their careers. They were previously dinks or double income, no kid type of relationship. And one of them now decided that they want to have a kid. Sometimes it's the man, sometimes it's the woman. But I feel like that's, again, why it's so hard when you're in America, because you have the option of just having a divorce. And so, I don't know, people don't necessarily always vet out the person to make sure that they want to have the same things in life. You know, because I'm also thinking that this lady is not the asshole, because she's making triple time the salary. So I guess they could downsize their lifestyle a great deal in order for her to be the stay-at-home parent. But that's a very tough ask. Anyways, next clip.
Am I the asshole for divorcing my wife for being a stay-at-home mom?
Wow.
I, male 30, married my wife, female 30, around 5 years ago. We've been dating since high school. I loved how smart, ambitious, and driven she was. We bonded over academics and nerd stuff. We both landed good jobs in the same city right after college. 3 years into marriage, we had our baby. We decided on sending our child to daycare after 6 months, but when 6 months were up, she refused to go to work and send our child to daycare. Her argument was if I picked up more work, we could afford a single income household, and she'll be saving us money being a stay-at-home parent, that it was better for our child as well. I refused. Daycare is normal. If it was only me working, I would have to work way more hours, be exhausted, and not spend as much time with my child. I said if she was scared about daycare, we can work in different shifts to stay home with our baby, like tag team. She refuses, saying that does not work for her. And as a mom, she needs to be with her baby at all times. This caused a huge fight between us. She quit her job. She took care of the baby during my work hours and wanted me to take care of cooking dinner on weekdays, cleaning, and baby care on weekends, because stay-at-home moms deserve breaks too. This dynamic really made me resent her. I tried communicating many times. The load of bills and insane work hours alone, with not being able to enjoy time with my baby, all deeply upset me. When I was sure she was not going to listen to me, I filed for divorce. The court gave us 50-50 custody, no alimony or child support, since I proved it was her own decision to stay at home, something I never agreed upon, and her career break was only around a year. I moved back in with my parents, and they have room for our baby too. Meanwhile, my ex-wife is struggling living paycheck to paycheck. My wife stays with my mom when I work. My mom offered my ex the same, but she was so mad at me that she refused and enrolled our baby in a daycare. I refused to pay it since she can just leave our kid with my mom. My ex-wife and her friends are calling me the asshole for divorcing her over being a stay-at-home mom and not providing any support. Am I the asshole? And then there's a little update. The comment section truly shows how sexist the community is, with your "you're the asshole" comments calling me broke and asking me to man up, others saying mom deserves to be with their baby and I'm the asshole for taking that away from them. My marriage was based on equality. I never wanted to be the sole breadwinner, and to everyone telling me mom staying home is the best and the thing to do if you can afford it, I was clearly saying we cannot. Daycare expense would have been 30% of my wife's salary, 15% of our joint income.
30%?
Childcare is expensive.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I was not even demanding daycare. I offered my mom's help. Part-time, different shifts, anything that would ensure me to have quality time with my child too. She refused that, turning me to an ATM and domestic help. To everyone saying that I should have given her one more time, each phase of childhood only stays for a little while. I missed over a year of my child's life, big moments, smiles, and phases due to this arrangement. My wife did not care or sympathize. It was my duty to provide for her and her right to stay home with the child. Further, I was responsible for fending for myself, for food, washing dishes, and cooking dinner, and cleanups every day. And on my only day off, the only day I could possibly spend with my child, I had to clean the house, cook all the meals, meal prep for a week, do laundry, mow, etc. I only got time with the baby for about 6 hours, max 12 hours every week. I was working over 80 hours a week at office and another 28 hours doing housework. What she did was take care of our baby, and I'm not dissing her for that, just that I wanted time with our child too. And when I realized she was not going to listen to me at all, I filed for divorce because I didn't want to miss years of our child's life. To everyone saying I'm taking advantage of my wife, I do not know how your family is. My parents love my child. I am my parents' only child, and my kid is their only grandchild. To those who say I'm hurting my child, bringing in unknowns, my child is having a great time being pampered with my mom, loves the time she spent with me. To the people who ask what I won, time with my child, memories with my child, a relationship with my child rather than being a ATM. And to the people who say I never loved my wife, I did, until I realized that she did not love or care about me, that she only cared about what she needed and wanted, and treated me like an ATM and a slave. It was heartbreaking to realize, but it was not a relationship I wanted to continue with. She took away my time with my child, and that is not something I can forgive easily. I would rather be a present dad with my child.
Okay. There you guys have it. Those are the 3 Am I the Asshole stories I was able to comb through from this lovely podcast. I will be linking their channel in the description box down below. So please do go show them some love. But yeah, I want to go ahead and take back all of the asshole and non-asshole verdicts I had, because honestly, we only ever get one side of the story, and it's the side of the story that wrote into Reddit. You know, I feel like the conversation is so nuanced because it's still relatively new. It was only since World War II that we really had waves of women entering the workforce, and now, you know, they're entering into certain fields that are very demanding. We also encourage men to go into heal fields. You know, we talk about, I've had a video talking about how there's a lack of male role models and male figures within the academic system. So yes, there are more men entering into the profession of teaching as well as nursing and healthcare. And so, you know, I think it's just such a layered conversation. And then the way that this Biden economy is going, like, it's really hard for a family to sustain on a single income. If you can, then I think it is the best for the mom to stay at home because she does offer that nurturing aspect. But at the same time, there are plenty of dads that are voicing that they want time with their children too. They want to build that relationship. They don't want to be locked up in a corporate office or be seen as an ATM, Well, when you're a provider, you're kind of sort of the ATM. And again, when you have conversations saying, oh, we don't care about a woman's career, she could be a McDonald's worker or a barista at Starbucks, I'd still marry her. Yeah, fine. Different strokes for different folks. But I feel like when we have this type of extreme rhetoric bouncing around, it's just, again, people are getting confused. You know what I mean? Me too. That's why I took back all am I the asshole verdict, because I don't know the full story. But anywho, I sympathize with the last guy. I feel like he's introducing a perspective that maybe some men will say you're a puss or a wimp or a simp because you don't want to be the provider. You didn't sign up for that. That wasn't the agreement when you married her. It was supposed to be based on equality. And we live in a society where there are so many women that say that they want to be equal. So again, you can't have your cake and eat it too. But anyways, I feel like the conversation is getting a little convoluted, but you guys get the gist, right? Anyways, I've enjoyed this conversation. I hope you guys did too. Please let me know your thoughts and perspective in the comment section down below. And like and share and subscribe if you guys did enjoy the conversation. But I look forward to speaking again with you guys next time. Bye. Oh, and anyone that is in the Georgia or Carolinas or here in the Southeast, be careful. There's a hurricane warning right now, so stay warm. Bye, y'all.